today I feel like I need to play the Spice Girls. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. That's the soundtrack of the day. I don't really remember the rest of the words to the song, so I don't know if it's totally appropriate, but we'll have to listen to it later. Anyhow, yes. So as we move into a new year, we're all about setting goals and setting intentions and mantras and whatever you want to call it. So we generally at this time of the year have, thanks for laughing at my singing. Woot woot. We generally have a fairly good grasp of what we want this time of year. So today I wanted everyone to just take a second to really think about the things that you are wanting. And I wanted to talk about the energy that is driving those wants. My husband is choosing this moment right now to drill holes in the ensuite bathroom for the shelves inside the like mirror cupboard thing. Right this moment, as I'm doing a live 2 rooms away. So there you go. He's getting it done. It's been on his list for 2 years and it's happening right now. So there you go. Send me love and patience. That is something that I really wanted, is those shelves in the thing, and that's happening. So thank you, universe. I will keep moving forward. So the energy behind what we really want is a huge factor. So I'm not sure if, give me a raise a hand or a heck yeah or a that was me if you have been hearing about and trying to put into action all the stuff you've been hearing about manifesting and abundance and all of those things. Let me know if that's something that you have been reading about or you've heard about, and give me a couple of sentences about how you feel about all that. For me, I was always a little bit like, okay, sure, yeah, you can wish for all the things, all you want, but you got to do stuff. You got to get it done. You can't just sit back and wish all the time. You've got to get your shit together. You got to get out there and you got to work and you got to work, right? That's all true. Sure. I never really got the whole manifesting and abundance thing. And I'm still learning and coming around to it. The idea that I can grasp and hold on to the easiest is the idea of harnessing or owning the energy that you bring to every day, or the energy that you put behind the things that you really want. You can sit there and pray or beg or whatever you call it. Come on, I really want $5,000. I want $1 million, or I want, I really want a new car. And it's not just gonna poof into your bank account. But I've been shifting gears and doing a little bit of work on this. And we had just recently in November, we were kind of given the rundown of my son's rugby for the next 6 months. And rugby, you think, well, what do they need? They need cleats and a mouth guard. Well, at the level that he's playing at, it was we were told in November that by December 26th, we needed to come up with an extra $13,000 or something like that. It was oh, thanks for the heads up. That's an amount. Okay, good. Blah. And so we put a bunch of things into action. And so we were, muddling our way through, but we were having to it was hard to shift and move the money around, and we weren't actually going to be able to do it in time because we were given 0 notice. So I was doing all this manifesting stuff, and I had discovered the idea of the energy behind the desire. And it's less about, so the energy behind my desire for needing an extra 15 grand to just drop out of the sky into my lap, so that I could pay for my son, energy behind it was like felt desperate, and it didn't feel good. It felt like I couldn't celebrate my son and all of his accomplishments, and these opportunities that he had were incredible. New Zealand and San Diego, and captaining the team and moving across the country, and like just incredible things that he has worked his ass off for. And I didn't want to have to be the one to say, no, you can't go, or we have to wait, or, you know, it just doesn't make sense right now financially. Like, what? And so it felt like heartbreaking, and I felt like I couldn't celebrate this amazing opportunity for him because of it. And then finally, I don't know, I read something, heard a podcast, something triggered, and I was on a walk, and all of a sudden I just surrendered. And I was like, okay, well, I've been doing all this work. I also had programs going on. I had like stuff going on in my business. I had decided to like take December off already, so I didn't have anything planned. And I was like, that was a bad idea. Oh, geez. I guess I shouldn't have taken December off. If I knew this was coming, I wouldn't have. Anyhow, so I just kind of surrendered to what was going to happen. And I knew that my son had worked so hard, and we had worked hard, that he doesn't deserve to not go. There's no way that if the universe worked the way it should work, that he wouldn't go. So I kept kind of following my strategy, and my husband did as well. And, you know, he was trying to get in touch with this one guy, and he couldn't reach them. And finally they connected right before Christmas, and they went out for lunch. And my husband came back, and he was in tears, and he was like, we've just received all the funding. Like, anonymous donors and supporters have come forward. I have no idea who we're supposed to thank, but Liam's covered. He's good. What? So it happened. So it didn't happen the way I thought it would. It didn't happen the way, like, I was envisioning, how am I going to put $15,000 in my bank account so that I can then just put it in someone else's bank account? But the end result was my son got to have the experiences that he earned, and do all the things and the opportunities that were his. We were the middleman. We were just the conduit, and we were in the way. And so when I surrendered to, like, look, it's not really about us. We didn't earn this. We have nothing to do with this. I don't want to stand in the way of it. He's the one that's done all the work. He's the one that these opportunities are his. He's the one that's done all the work. Like, I don't want to get in the way of it. It's not even our credit. Like, should have nothing to do with us, universe. And then the solution came in and had nothing to do with us. Except for the fact that my husband was wise enough to go and talk to the right people, and put his hand up and say, hey, like, if you want this kid on the team, someone's got to step up and help out, because this is insane. And everyone was like, oh yeah, absolutely, for sure, no problem. Boom, 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 boom. Like, before the lunch was even over, it's a done deal. Plus 2 extra opportunities that we didn't even know about before. Like, unbelievable. So from that moment on, I was like, yeah, surrendering is definitely the way to go. But it's hard, and I have not been successful all the time since this decision is brand new to me too. But I'd heard about it. So how do you feel about that? Think I'm totally crazy? But the idea of the energy behind the desire is really, really important in this example. Also surrendering, but we'll get to that later in the 20 days as well. But the idea of the energy being like shifting from that desperation and panic. Shannon, I'm a believer. Yes. Yeah, Liz, I love everything. I love that everything worked out too. But the idea of shifting the energy from panic and desperation to just sitting in that feeling of love for my son, and and the joy that seeing him be awesome brings me, and the fact that joy, me sitting in that joy and seeing him go out there and do like insane things with his body and recover, and like he's healthy and he's a good leader and he's strong. And this is a kid that had a really bad speech impediment till he was like 10, and now he's doing speeches and he is leading a team and he's doing like post-game interviews because he's the captain of Team Canada. Like, what the hell? So amazing. So I shifted from panic and desperation into like awe and amazement and joy and love for him. And then within a week, everything shifted so that I could continue feeling joy and awe and pride and love for him, and gratitude to the universe and to all the anonymous supporters who I can't even thank publicly because I don't know who they are. But it was magical. And I believe that I'm not taking anything away from Liam and his hard work, and my husband and his great relationships with all the right people, and because there's been years and years and years and years and years of work on all of that stuff that has culminated to this moment. So I'm not taking credit for it, certainly. I'm just saying that we were able to go through this experience with a much more light and love-filled energy. And everything worked out. Probably things would have worked out anyway. It just would have been bumpier, and we probably wouldn't have enjoyed the whole experience as much, because we would have been scrambling and scraping and scrambling, and that's what it would have hijacked Christmas. It would have hijacked our relationship with everybody else in our family, because we've got 4 kids. So we wouldn't have been able to be present and in love with every single moment that we've had between, in the last 6 weeks of all of this going on. Right? And so the universe knew that our love for our kids and our pride in their accomplishments was worthy of being supported, and that we've got 4 kids and it can't just be all about him. And so we're just going to take this little struggle and we're going to fix that, because there's other people that will support it too, and let these guys be all in love with their other kids, which is what we did. It's good. Still super proud of Liam, obviously, but yeah, it did allow us to be more present and in joy and in love with everybody else in the family. So that was lovely. So these are the examples of how manifesting, you can call it that just because it's the buzzword that everybody uses right now, but for me, I feel like it's more about the energy that is behind what you want. And if you can harness that, then the desires that you have become a reality, I think, because you're bringing in this positive energy into the mix and allowing the universe to play in this like positive light area, as opposed to always feeling so dense. No energy can move around in like quicksand, right? So you want to make it light and airy so that energy can flow. Good energy can come through, bad energy can just skip right on through. And it doesn't have to stick around and get stuck in the sludge so much. So a lot of people have a really hard time figuring out what they desire. What do they want? I mean, beyond the obvious of like, I want $1 million in the bank, or I want financial freedom. If financial freedom, if you know what that feels like and you know what that is, then grab onto it. I want that, but I have a hard time connecting with it because unfortunately, money is not my big motivator, and I'm not driven by the almighty dollar. That's just not who I am. And the people who are, I'm not judging them at all. It just isn't, I don't know, it's not in me. I think I would be a fantastic rich person. I'd probably give a lot of money away. And certainly open my doors up to everybody, and I would just become more and more and more generous with the money. So when I conceive of money, I don't think of it as something that I will keep and count and hold on to and watch my bank account, get bigger and bigger and bigger. I really do feel like it's a tool for me to use for a bigger purpose or a different purpose. And so I've always had a hard time connecting with those money goals until I realized that actually it isn't those quantifiable goals that we connect with. It is what are we going to do when we achieve that, that we actually do connect with. And it goes almost like contradicts everything I teach in Bliss. But we'll circle back to that. So for a moment, I want you to imagine or think about what you truly desire. If you know what you truly desire, write it in the comments right now. If you're on the replay, type in #desire and then tell me what you actually truly desire. And if you don't know, just tell me, I don't know. Or you don't know yet. Don't know yet. So if you've done Bliss before, this will look very similar or roughly close to your vision statement. You desire your own art studio, Liz, that is financially sustainable. And Shannon, freedom. Perfect. So what does freedom mean to you, and why is having your own art studio, your own financially sustainable art studio, important to you, Liz? Understanding that deeper connection to the things that you want to attain or achieve will make it stickier and will help it to become part of your everyday. It's like having your internal vision board. So understanding the energy behind it. So if you are desiring freedom because you feel trapped, because you feel stuck, because there's all this like heaviness, it's going to be very hard to connect with that idea of freedom when you're sitting in an energy of panic and desperation. So let's figure out how your desire will bring you joy. So how will freedom bring you joy? Freedom allows heart-centered decisions. Yes. Financial, creative, and travel. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, you're exactly right, because then you get to lead with your heart and not with your logistics of life. Amazing. And if you've got that connection and to share my learning with people and my role models with others. Yeah. And to validate my leaving the hospital for my art. Mostly I want to create an amazing place and experience for people. Yeah. So as entrepreneurs, finances are always a massive thing because we've left a job and we need to replace that income and that security and safety with some stability. That's logic. What are you going to do with the money? What will the sustainability bring you? Sticking it to them and proving or validating to yourself or to anybody else is a lower vibration, a lower vibe mission. You're always going to feel like it's still begging for other people's approval. And you still need that validation from other people, including yourself. So let's try to shake loose that thing, that component, and understand truly what will your financial stability enable you to do? How will that how will that show up? So having that financial stability will allow you to do what? Or feel what? How will it feel joyful? Imagine for a second that the currency that we're trading here is not money, but is joy. So your desires bring you joy. How? And then how does you feeling joy bring more service and love and inspiration to the world? So some people just desire to be able to stay home with their children and like have a happy, healthy home, and they don't want to be entrepreneurs, but they think that they have to make some money somehow, so because to feel like they're a valid part of society, whatever. But what they really truly desire is just to be a stay-at-home mom, and that doesn't seem like it's something that we're allowed to say out loud. You know, we're supposed to be able to do it all and conquer the world or whatever, but if what your heart truly desires is to just stay home and you know, make a wonderful home for your family, and then, you know, plan great trips and go on vacations, if that's what you truly desire, then that's what you truly desire. Don't crowd it with anything else, right? So if you truly desire to just do art all day long, blissfully unaware of all problems in the world, of all logistics in life, you just want to do art and share art and help other people express themselves through art, and that's all you want to do all day long, because that seems like nirvana to you, then that is what you truly desire. And you being in that space will allow you to spread the feeling of joy, and you staying locked into that feeling of joy and that delivery of your service of you know, you doing the thing that brings you the most joy will, just by halo effect, impact other people. You will be of service to more people just by doing the thing that brings you the most joy. And then you will then bring them joy. And there is the currency exchange. Instead of money, you're bringing joy. It will help you tremendously in your marketing as well. If it's less about how much you're charging for your services and more about the service that you're providing, the solution you're providing, the joy you're bringing. To do art and meet other artists and bring the online community to in-person experiences. I love it. Yeah. So when we get into bliss, we will get a lot more tactical about our desires, and we will, you know, quantify them so that we can make sure that our plans that we're putting in place in front of us are in alignment with what our heart truly desires to do right now and for the next 18 days, however many days. We are going to get super laser focused in on what our heart really desires and what is in alignment with where we're supposed to be. Because when you feel out of alignment, you know you're out of alignment when you are pulled in 16 directions and you have no idea which is the right way to go. No clue. Or you feel like you really desperately want to say yes, but you don't feel like you can say yes. Or you want to say no, and you feel like you can't say no because everybody else is blah, blah, blah. Right? You know you're out of alignment there. You're in alignment when it's super easy to say yes or no when you have to, in order to stay in alignment. It's not even you won't even second guess saying no to something that somebody says, because you know it will take you out of alignment, and you just don't want to ever be out of alignment because it feels too good to be in alignment. So that's where I'm hoping the next 20 days go. And then from that place of alignment, we will then build bliss. And then that should have giant impact. Yes, that's where we're going with all this. And both of you are doing the Bliss program after this, so yay. Okay, so for today, your big mission is, what do you desire? And how does your desire bring you joy? And then how does you being joyful, so how does your joy bring more service and love and inspiration to the world? I've got them written on my board over here. Sorry for me cheating and looking over. Yeah, so what is your desire? How does your desire bring you joy? And how does your joy bring more service and love and inspiration to the world? And it's totally fine if you've never really thought about how the thing that you want is going to impact the world. Not everybody has to change the world. But you will notice when you think about it that when you are in that flow of joy, how that radiates around you, even if it's impacting just your kids and your family, everybody that you meet every day, at the coffee shop, at the bus stop, at kid pick up and drop off. How does you living in joy impact everybody around you? And that is enough of the world. It's impacting your world, right? Some people are going to have great, big, huge desires, and therefore them living in joy as a result of their desire will have a massive, massive impact, equal proportions to the size of their desire. But it's okay if you don't want to have a great, big, huge, giant desire. Totally fine. Make it totally selfish. I want a new couch so bad. Well, how is your new couch going to bring you joy? Because I can cuddle with my whole family on one couch. That'll feel so good. Great. Move forward in that feeling of joy, that feeling of cuddling. What's that going to feel like? Bring that with you every single day. Everywhere you go, bring that cuddly, awesome feeling with you. And all of the right things will be attracted to that energy, the right things for you, the right opportunities, and then pretty soon you're going to be able to get that couch, and then there'll be a moment where you're all cuddling on the couch and you'll go, yeah. Sometimes you'll realize that you're all cuddling on the couch and you're comfortable and you're happy and your soul is full and you didn't even need a new couch in the first place. You just needed to pay attention, right? So sometimes it isn't the things that we actually desire, that we think we desire. Sometimes it's that feeling that we desire. It's that we're locking onto the feeling that we've associated with getting the thing. And then if you just live with that feeling a little bit more, you'll realize you already have it. It's already yours. Right? And if it isn't already yours, like $1 million in the bank, so that I can be super generous and give to all the people and give away my services so I can just, love on everybody and share everything I know all the time. That's my personal desire, to just be able to empower people to be their best self. Like all the people. All the people. I would tell myself if I were in bliss, you need to niche down. But right now, my true desire is that I can empower and inspire all the people. But I can just do it one person at a time too. I can do it every day. I don't need $1 million in the bank to do that. I don't need to be an entrepreneur to do that. I can go work at Tim Hortons and do that. So it's not about what I do. I can still live in alignment with my true desires every single day, regardless of what I do, regardless of the outcomes. And releasing outcomes is a whole other thing that I don't even think I'm going to cover in this 20 days. It's a big one. But anyway, so I feel like I've talked around in circles. Your homework for the day. What do you desire? How does your desire bring you joy? And how does your joy bring more service, love, and inspiration to the world? 3 questions. I'll put them in the notes below. Any questions so far? Any ahas? Share. Let me know before I go what your aha moments were. I'm reading my notes. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. Oh, scrolling maybe will help. Okay, no words for me. Okay. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming on and joining me today. I can't wait to see what your responses are. If you don't want to share, that's totally fine. I do encourage you to participate and share everything. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Do participate and share as much as you can, and in the group, because it really does. That's where so much of the magic happens, is in the group dynamic. People are very slow to join the group, so I'm going to have to go back and check to make sure that all of the emails were opened and clicked on, that there's no like technical difficulties going on. But if it's a small group, it's a small group, and then it'll be super intimate. So once school gets back in, I know a few other people will be able to join us. But even if you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you're commenting underneath the videos, because then everybody will see it and you can all get to know each other a lot better and support each other and cheer each other on. Oh, Shannon, yes, that it doesn't have to be about money. That part always made me feel icky. Yeah, I mean, money is a great and amazing thing. But it does have that sense of being because there's just so much about money. Like everybody has so many money blocks. There's so much baggage attached to it. That doesn't need to be there. It's all misplaced. It's all misplaced. Money is not, it's just pieces of paper, right? Connect more with what it means to you. What does that mean? What does money facilitate you doing? How much bigger will you be able to love? How much bigger can you show up? How much bigger can you serve with it? And then it will come and you'll use it accordingly. Yeah, because it's stacking up in the bank. Just, I don't know, I just get images of Scrooge. You know, I would love to have a stacked bank account and that it just keeps making money and I don't have to think about it, because I really don't want to think about it. Be great if it was there so that when I want to do something amazing and magical and awesome for people, I can. And I don't have to worry or plot or skimp and save and, you know, beg the universe to provide, right? I just want to be able to give and love and move on, right? So that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. There's currency. We have to have it. Otherwise, like, I don't even know how this whole thing would work. But we don't need to make it the whole objective. What we do with it, that's easier to connect with. Yeah. Yeah, so money is good. Money is great. It makes us work hard, but it also can help us do amazing and wonderful and awesome things. So connect with that if money feels icky. Yeah. Okay, folks, enjoy your homework. Can't wait to see. If you don't want to share in the group, you can always DM me and share, or you can DM each other. If somebody shares and you're like, ooh, you seem like my people, but I'm too shy to share, then just share with somebody. Share with somebody, and the reason for the sharing, and sharing in a public and safe environment like a private group, is because you are practicing sharing your true desires with the universe. It's hard to talk about what you really want. Sometimes it feels weird to admit what you actually really want because doesn't reflect what you do for a living currently or the life that you currently have. That's fine, totally fine. Because we've all followed the bouncing ball and just like done what we were supposed to do, right? We went to school, got married, we had the kids, whatever, did all the things. I never really thought about what our true heart's desire is before. So it's fine if you actually figure it out and you're like, oh, well, that doesn't line up with anything that I've created so far. Yeeks. It's okay. It doesn't mean you've got to walk away from everything that you've created so far. It doesn't mean that you've made bad choices at all. Just you've made choices, whatever. Your heart still desires this thing, and that can completely manifest into reality, no problem, with everything that you've created so far. It's all good. It's all good. So practicing sharing and sharing each little step of the way as we go for 20 days will really help you feel more comfortable in the desire that you have and in the journey that you're on. And it will help you to start to vocalize it, even just to yourself and to the universe when nobody else is listening. Nobody in this group's going to judge. That's for dang sure. Okay, folks. So have an amazing day. Have fun with this exercise. Think of it as your internal vision board. We'll do an external vision board on the weekend. But really, really sit with this. What is your heart's true desire? Go for a walk out in nature. Nature has a way of connecting you with your inner wisdom much, much faster than cleaning your house does. So get outside, go for a walk, which is what I'm going to do right now. And then I'll come home and probably put a podcast on and clean my house. Okay, folks, have an amazing day. Cheers.